Bernard Hopkins admits that Daniel Jacobs is a tougher fight for Canelo Alvarez than Triple G's style, based on Canelo's style. What up, fight world? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also, subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang, notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the Super Chat, channel donations, the Venmo donations, and the Patreon family. We work in this fight week. You know, a lot of good stuff. Purchase your Box Fan Expo tickets this week. It's the day of the Canelo fight. I'm not going to be there live, you know, but you can purchase tickets. It helps the channel. There's going to be a ton of fighters from Aerospence, a ton of great Mexican legends like Juan Manuel Marquez, and a ton of fighters are going to be there. Mikey Garcia is confirmed, Jesse Vargas, and a lot more. Purchase your tickets below. And I was reading an article by Lance Pugmire of the Los Angeles Times. Shout out to him. Link will be in the description. And they're kind of preparing for the fight. They're talking about how Canelo Alvarez has lost, as you guys see in the title, his loss to Floyd Mayweather helped spur his rise. And that's basically what the article's about, is, you know, him at a young age fighting Mayweather and what that did for him as a fighter. I always wanted to fight the best fighters to cement my path and be able to place myself in the history of boxing, Alvarez said to the Los Angeles Times. The reason I fought against the kind of style that Mayweather has is because I was already used to other kind of fighters. I also knew that fighting against the best would prepare me for challenges like the one I have against Daniel Jacobs. You know, the article continues, Alvarez with a record of 51-1-2, 35 knockouts, the WBC and WBA middleweight champion, meets the IBF champion Jacobs 35-2-29 Saturday. Based on what Alvarez has done in pushing to replace Mayweather as the sport's pound-for-pound fighter, proves his explanation is not revisionist history, says Bernard Hopkins. He said what Canelo did as young as he did at age 25 was to take the lesson that he got for 12 rounds and move forward with his career, said Bernard Hopkins. Winning, of course, is everything to him, but he now is able to say, you know what, I got schooled, but I was competitive in the fight, and he wasn't. I don't agree with him there. That fight was a blowout. And you've seen how the loss has made me better. That I do agree with, because he can get into a trick bag of knowledge game. Yeah, I don't think the fight was really competitive. CJ Ross is probably the only one that thought Mayweather Canelo was really competitive, but it was a learning curve, and I think Canelo got better. Quote, people are missing that about Canelo. He has a style to fight in his culture, and he has a style to fight in my culture. If nobody understands how important that is, they don't understand boxing. Boxing is in every part of the world, in every city, so no matter where you live, you should learn how to do certain things and fight like others do. So basically what he's saying, what Hopkins is saying, is Canelo's Mexican, he has heart, but he fights kind of more of an American style, which is what I've told you. He's definitely learned from Mayweather, and he's definitely taken some chapters out of the Mayweather playbook, you know. But it says Jacobs is no pushover. This is from De La Hoya. Jacobs is no pushover. He's all around good fighter. But every single time Canelo steps in the ring, he's well prepared, he's disciplined, very dedicated, and understand what's in front of him, right? Now, this is where Bernard Hopkins says what you see in the title, what you clicked on for. You're going to see the experience from the previous fights, the style that Canelo's been up against the first significant super fight he had, right? The style that Jacobs has is a little bit more difficult for Canelo to do from what he did against Triple G, Gennady Golovkin, said Bernard Hopkins. Triple G was there right in front of Canelo. He rarely moved or slipped to get out of the way. Jacobs fights in an urban style, and that's a weird term for it. But he's basically saying he's a black, you know, and he's using the kind of a stereotype, more slick, rhythmic. He says Jacob fights in an urban style the way U.S. amateur coaches teach you. He's not a brawler. He's going to move. He'll want to establish that in the early part of the fight and carry the fight to the middle and championship rounds I've been studying. So that's basically what he said. For Canelo to get the lesson on what was the best thing to happen to him. He knew that if you want that perfect fighting recipe, you need all the ingredients that he's experienced and gathered along the way. Because of that, he has the hardware and the belts. What he's doing now is becoming the master. So they're basically saying he learned from the Mayweather loss, improved his game, became a student of the game, and the highest paid in the sport, which those things are true. He definitely learned and got better from the Mayweather loss, and he's like one of the people that did well after Mayweather, because a lot of Mayweather kind of wrecked some people. Like, you didn't really see him. Like, Ricky Hatton didn't really go on to do nothing crazy after, and some other guys. But yeah, Bernard Hopkins talking about this urban style and stuff. I disagree where he says that Jacob is a boxer and not a brawler. The thing is, Jacobs he's an all-around good fighter. Like, if this, when you go to get your car worked on, and then the mechanic comes out with that clipboard, say you're getting a tune-up and oil change, like, there's like a point, it's like a 6-point oil change or whatever. And the thing about it is this: they have a checklist, and then they mark off little boxes, and check off, and then go through it, check your lights, check your fluids when you're getting your car serviced. If that was the case for Jacobs, I want to say that Jacobs he's gonna have more boxes checked than he doesn't. Solid defense, that would be checked. Punching power, that would be checked. Good height for the division, that would be checked. Able to use his legs, that would be checked. Good coach, that would be checked. You get what I'm saying? I'm not saying he's a perfect fighter, because some people say, hey, he got dropped by Sergio Moro, who's not even a big puncher. He got stopped by Dimitri Perot, so maybe some people don't check the box on his chin. I think the whole chin comments are kind of overstated, if anything, because he survived with Golovkin and got dropped and did better after he got dropped. And the only knockout loss he has was to Dimitri Perot, who was like a beast. He was a beast at the time, the top player. And we don't really know if cancer had already begun its effects. And I'm not making excuses. That's just a reality, because this was right before the cancer diagnosis. So we don't know what type of health he was in at that time. You get what I'm saying? So I think Jacobs has more check marks than a lot of Canelo opponents, like James Kirkland or whatever. James Kirkland looked a little bit shorter than Canelo. He has no defense. His chin is not necessarily the best. So Jacobs, I think, is a tough fight for Canelo. And I do agree with B-Hop. I don't think he's a boxer and he can't brawl. And I think he's just a good fighter all around. So I don't know what game plan. People forget Peter Quinlan was a puncher and a brawler, and Jacobs got him out there in one round and out-brawled him, buzzed him, clipped him early, jumped right on him. Smart, But around Golovkin having a good jab and, power, he had a box move. Then he stood his ground and spot. So all in all, I just think Jacobs is a complete fighter, and if anything, he'll mix it up to try to get the job done. Can he do it? We'll see. Canelo's he's the new golden boy. Judging doesn't always seem to be super fair, those types of things. So we'll see how it all plays out. On top of that, Canelo's a good fighter and he's a beast. But I don't agree with Hopkins saying that he can't brawl or whatever. In that assessment, that urban shit, whatever B-Hop was talking about, I think that assessment's off, because Canelo has some aggression to his style. He can fight aggressive, but he's not even really a brawler anyway. You know what I'm saying? Canelo's a boxer puncher. He just doesn't have his style, and training is to probably be more aggressive than some people. But he's still a boxer puncher and looks to counter shit like that. You've seen that, especially watch fights like the Austin Trout fight, the Golovkin fights. At least the first Golovkin fight, he was looking to counter. Trout fight, once he knew he was ahead on the open scoring, he was just countering. That's what created the knockdowns, stuff like that. So, really, Canelo and Jacobs are both two good fighters with check marks across the board in a lot of categories. So it's a good fight. It's a middleweight unification. I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully everything's on the up and up. It's a good fight. I do think Canelo has improved, and I can't wait to see what happens with the winner. The only downside is I think it's for as great of a fight as this is, I don't think DAZN has done enough to get it out of there. It doesn't really feel like a fight week. We're in fight week right now, and it doesn't, for me at least, doesn't feel like we're right there. It doesn't feel like a massive event. You know, I don't know if it's because it's on a streaming only app or whatever, the promotion behind it. You know, it could be this too. When you want a pay-per-view to succeed, you gotta dump money in. It takes money to make money. But with DAZN, they're kind of trying to sustain everything in-house, hoping to gain, you know, customers for life and stuff, and do it without the pay-per-view model. So maybe they don't want to dump too much money into the promotional stuff, because they got to pay Canelo a crazy salary. I'm sure Jacobs is probably getting a career high payday, and they don't really have much chief support on the undercard. So, you know, fighter salaries, you know, whatever it costs to rent out the T-Mobile Arena, you know, something that might be it. Versus a pay-per-view, you want the event to sell, because the greater the pay-per-view sells, you know, definitely the greater profit margin it is for everybody involved. So kind of a different formula, but I really have been disappointed with the overall promotion behind Canelo Jacobs, considering this is the best middleweight fight this year. The implications are great. Two great fighters, a meaningful fight. This is the type of fight people ask for, and it's here. You know, it's fight week, and I don't feel like it's being buzzed about enough. You know, I'm sure people on the day of the fight are going to be amped up, but I would like to have seen a little bit more promotion overall go into this. It was kind of like a press tour, and then everything tapered off, like dramatically. And part of it could be the personalities, Canelo and Jacobs. You know, they're no punks, so if you taunt them or something, they'll stand their ground. You've seen Canelo versus Triple G, he was talking shit, and Canelo pulled up on him at the weigh-in and got in his grill and stuff. So you see the stuff like that. Same thing with Jacobs. But they're not going to go out of their way. Canelo's been respectful to Jacobs. Jacobs been respectful to Canelo. So that's kind of what it is. But check out this article from Lance Pugmire. B-Hop admits that this is a tougher fight than Triple G. And I agree, because I think, like I said, Canelo's a boxer puncher. Very good at that. He looks to counter. And Golovkin has no defense. He doesn't use his legs in the same way. He doesn't use his legs in an evasive way. Jacobs can use his legs to stalk and come forward, or he can use his legs to move laterally and to, you know, utilize the ring space. We never really see Golovkin get on his toes. He has like one mode. And if that don't work, he can't steamroll you, then he just goes to jabbing. You know, Jacobs has more wrinkles all around, like what he can do. And he's bigger than Golovkin. He's faster than Golovkin. So it's just a different fight. Styles make fights. Always remember that. Let me know what you guys think. Do you agree with B-Hop that this is a tougher fight than Golovkin? Not saying Golovkin's an easy fight, because Golovkin got a hell of a chin. Definitely got a beard. Has a really good jab, and he's tough, and he has power. So, you know, we'll see how it plays out. But I think the Jacobs fight could be challenging for Canelo for sure. But Canelo has had high profile experience. He's a terrific fighter. So we're going to see how it plays out. It's almost that time. Let me know what you guys think. Link in the description. Make sure you smash the like button as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Telling Videos Ego. Signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.